video will provide you with a quick overview of pre-deployment email tests within Watson Campaign Automation. For general testing purposes, there are two options: the quick test or the normal test. A quick test requires a single email address, and the recipient will receive a static version of the content with no personalization. In a normal test, you can test various elements of personalization and dynamic content. To perform a normal test, choose the option from the drop-down list and select the draft mailing. You will be required to select your test recipients either as a contact source or individual email addresses, which can be entered directly in the space provided. We recommend using a pre-configured test contact list or query of internal addresses. This approach will safeguard you from accidentally mailing tests to customers and ensure the right people are checking and approving the template. You can set up a test list by going to Data, Create Database or List, and selecting Test List. Name your test list and include all the basic personalization fields you'd expect to be testing in your mailings. You can always add a field later if required for a specific mailing. The field names in your test list should exactly match the field names and types in your master database. If you want to produce tests for proofing dynamic content variables, we recommend using a contact list, which represents these rule sets. This can be used alone or in conjunction with your primary test list. This additional test list should represent all the possible creative variants of the mailing based on the dynamic content rule sets and use test email addresses only. Our example mailing includes dynamic content based on the customer's welcome group type. To test dynamic content within the content builder, you can use the Test with Contact and use the various test email addresses associated with your rule sets. If you'd like to see a final email proof, you can mail directly to the test addresses by selecting the dynamic content test list as test recipients in a normal test and checking each address individually. Alternatively, you can keep your standard test recipients list and send one test per dynamic content rule set. To do this, simply adjust your contact source in the Testing Personalization section and enter the relevant test contact email address for each variant of the mailing. When it comes to producing tests that use final live customer data, the same approaches apply. However, when you are producing final inbox tests, ensure your test contact source remains as test contacts only. This is very important in ensuring you do not send tests to your customer base. You will only need to update the contact source within the testing personalization section. As a further safety measure around testing, we recommend you place a hard limit on the number of test mailings that can be sent in one deployment. Live tests should always follow the strict data governance rules set by your organization, which will consider the type of personalization shown in the test and who can view these details for testing and approval purposes.